Fun fact, Greek mythology sucks. Everyone in Greek mythology sucks. There is no mortals, there is no good gods, there is no good monsters. Everyone sucks.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
And yes, while some do have tragic backstories, and you can sympathize with them a bit, they all suck, one way or another. Hello, queens, kings, knights, and jesters. Welcome to Royals Diary, a YouTube channel where the intro is short and sweet because the topic is long. It might make so many mad. So glad that I was able to say that in one breath because honestly I was very scared about forgetting my own intro. For today's topic, as you can see by the title, we are discussing Epic the Musical, a musical that became popular on TikTok, created by Jorge Rivera. Caring's thing about me, I don't know if I said it in my last video, but I am a big musical nerd. I've been listening to musicals since middle school. And thanks to middle school, I also enjoy Greek mythology, folklore, and all that stuff. So when I found out that there was a musical being made about Greek mythology, I was kind of skeptical because I never read the Odyssey. I know it was a requirement for some people to read in their classes. I found out that the Odyssey isn't just one giant book, it's actually 24 books. And in total, all those books are at least 140,000 words altogether. I won't be talking about the drama that surrounds it because, frankly, the drama is a month old. And I feel like people aren't really talking about that anymore. And honestly, when I heard about the drama, because I just heard about it today, it's like it sounds serious, but at the same time, it's clearly wasn't that serious because no one's talking about it anymore. I'm just here giving my opinion about a musical that I found enjoyable. So, yeah. My personal favorite was the Mythica saga because while yes, it is the ending of the musical, I personally think it was a very good ending. Like, it was a good way to close everything out, especially the last song. So, yeah. To me, the Ithaca saga was a perfect ending. And that's what I enjoyed about that saga. It was the perfect ending. Nothing could be changed about it. I mean, nothing's perfect, nobody's perfect, but I thought that it was perfect. Like, it was the perfect conclusion for everything. Like, every emotion that we felt with all the past sagas perfectly got wrapped up into this last saga. Now we're going to get into my favorite songs from each saga. It was hard picking a favorite song from each because some sagas, they had their strengths when it came to songs, but other sagas, I was just like, I don't really like them. Like, for the first two sagas, the Troy and the Cyclops saga, I wasn't a huge fan of them. I don't want to say they were boring, but it just wasn't, like, I don't know. It just, to me, they weren't like, wow, they're amazing. I mean, yeah, in the Cyclops saga when Polites died, that was sad. That was sad. Rest in peace, Polites. But other than that, I wasn't really like, those two sagas weren't like, wow. However, I still managed to pick a favorite song from each of those. Troy saga, the first saga, I have chose Just a Man. I'm just a man. For me, that is a pretty good example of the conflicts that Odysseus will face, having to choose between this, doing the right thing, and doing something that will eventually get him home. So, yeah, that's why I enjoy that song, because of that whole situation. For the Cyclops saga, I have chosen Polyphemus because the one line, and I think you all can guess what I'm gonna say, but when the Cyclops appears, and like literally when the Cyclops appears, his first lines are, "You killed my sheep, my favorite sheep." Those lines are my favorite. Because it's just like, because that's our first impression of him. Like, he's sad. He's fucked up for killing Politis though. Also, based on my research, Politis was a person, but he didn't have that much of an impact like he has in Epic the Musical. He was just there. He was kind of a background character. Which makes sense, because all of the soldiers would be background characters, because, I mean, even in Epic the Musical, the only real soldiers that we know, like, well-known, are Eurylochus and Politis. That's it. So for the, Ocean Saga, my favorite song is Ruthlessness. Ruthlessness is mercy upon us. Rodriguez's voice is it's interesting. The girls that get it, the girls that don't, and that's okay. Personally for me, that voice. The Circe Saga, this would be the first saga that I actually struggled with having to choose which songs, because it was between two songs. It's Puppeteer. Not a player, I'm a puppeteer. And Wouldn't She Like? Would you like a taste of the power? I like Puppeteer because Talia's voice, 10 out of 10. I love it. Her voice, like, when she sings, it's just like, she does a very good job at playing Circe, and the accent, chef's kiss. Earlier, I connected the dots and I was just like, Circe turned men into pigs. Is she the reason why we call men pigs now? And the reason why I struggled choosing between Puppeteer and Wouldn't You Like is because it's Hermes. Hermes is the fun character, and Troy plays them very, very well. Like, Hermes is just a vibe. For the Underworld Saga, there is no competition. There was no competition with choosing the song. While yes, the Underworld and Monster are both good, the Underworld being a good beginning song for the saga, and the Monster being a good, like, transition, like, of us seeing Odysseus, like we're about to see Odysseus's change, like what he's willing to risk for it, like everything. However, No Longer You, but it's no longer you, it's amazing. I love it. I'm also waiting for Starbucks. It's like almost 10 at night and I'm waiting for Starbucks. What is wrong with me? For the Thunder Saga, I honestly, like I said before with the Underworld, there was no competition. I chose Scylla. For me, as like someone who writes, draws, whatever the case is, like basically loves storytelling. As someone who enjoys that, I can see the Scylla song not only being sung by Scylla, the sea monster, it's a good villainess song. And I enjoyed it, and I find myself singing it 24/7, randomly. Like my life is a musical. And it's not a musical. If it was a musical, it probably wouldn't be a Greek mythology musical. The Wisdom Saga. Honestly, I didn't have a favorite. But if I had to choose a song that I liked better than the rest, I would go with Legendary. No life and fate are scary, but I wanna be legendary. Just because it's the intro song. The Vengeance Saga. As much as we all don't like Calypso, rightfully so. Not sorry for loving you, but I'm not sorry for loving you. And for the last saga, there actually was some competition there with the Mythica Saga, and that would be between the challenge. I never thought that I'd resort to this because of how emotional it is. The other song where I said that it was there was competition between it, that would be the last song, Would You Fall in Love with Me? Would you fall in love with me again? I love that song because, as I said with the saga in general, I think it's a perfect ending. Like the song itself, just like the album itself, is a perfect ending. Like, I feel like all the emotions that we felt from the song before, Would You Fall in Love with Me? From that point all the way back to The Horse and the Infant, I really felt the emotions. Like all the transitioning emotions that we constantly kept feeling throughout each saga, all those emotions just came into that one song and fell on us. No warning, no gentleness before, just plain on we got hit with an emotion. And especially when the Just a Man instrumental part came on, my heart's still recovering from that. So while Epic was in the early stages of being released, Jorge released a statement. Well, he released a TikTok saying and letting people know that Epic the musical is not a good substitute for the Odyssey, and after my research and learning some things, he is 100% right. Apparently, no one gets sacrificed to Scylla. Out they just sail dangerously close to Scylla to avoid facing Charybdis. The second thing that's different between the Odyssey and Epic the musical, apparently Zeus doesn't give Odysseus the option to choose between him and his crew. He literally plays a game of any, mini, miny, mo and picks Odysseus' crew. And he chooses to keep Odysseus alive. Honestly, it's still valid. To me, it's no matter what version it is, it's still valid. Now, if you got a chance to take a look at my TikTok page and you scroll down and saw the only Epic the musical related TikTok on there, you would have saw how much I dislike Eurylochus. For me, Eurylochus is a hypocrite, and based on the two situations that I can count that happened in Epic the musical, he's the definition of why they created Snickers bars commercials. Because Eurylochus was definitely not himself when he was hungry. Because I don't think he was genuinely that stupid. I think hunger and desperation made him stupid. And yeah, he just needed a Snickers half the time. If Eurylochus had a Snickers, things would have been fine. In the third song, Full Speed Ahead, during the Troy saga, after they return from war and they're setting sail, this is after the whole Odysseus dropping a baby situation, Eurylochus is the first person. When we first get introduced to Eurylochus, what does he start talking about? Say it with me now. Food. Because he's hungry. He tells Odysseus that their food supply is running low, that eventually when they run out of food, him and the crew will be hungry. This leads to Open Arms, where Odysseus and Polites meet the Lotus Eaters, and the Lotus Eaters direct them to the cave. Fast forward to the Cyclops saga, Polyphemus, they kill the sheep, and you know what happens in the song after that? Polites dies. Why does Polites die? Because Eurylochus was fucking hungry. And I'm pretty sure that you guys already know the second example that I'm going to come up with, and that is during... that is Mutiny. I think that song is why I believe people will see my point, and why I don't like Eurylochus. Because Odysseus tells them, don't kill the cows that we come across, because those cows are the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios. And what does Eurylochus do? He stabs them and slaughters them so that him And the rest of the crew, who betrayed Odysseus, by the way, can eat. And what happens after that? Zeus comes down and strikes their ass. And here's the thing with that. So in Epic the Musical, Helios is referred to as a sun god. Remember that word, god. However, when you do research on him outside of him being mentioned, well, implied in Epic the Musical, you learn that he's a sun god Titan. Now, if you aren't familiar with Greek mythology, Titans are of higher ranking than the gods. So when a Titan says jump, the gods have no choice but to ask, how high? And because of that, Helios, being the Titan, he sends Zeus, a god, to kill the crew, to punish them. Now, I also mentioned that Eurylochus was a hypocrite, and those also come from two examples. During the Circe saga, the first song, Puppeteer, Odysseus sends off Eurylochus and some of their crew to go do something. I can't remember what it was. If you want to remind me in the comments, go ahead. But Odysseus sends Eurylochus and his crew to go do something. After their encounter with Circe, Eurylochus runs off. He tells Odysseus the situation. He tells them that Circe has turned the crew into pigs. And while Odysseus is like, oh God, we have to go save them, Eurylochus is just like, no, we don't have to go save them. Let's take the rest of the people that we have and dip. And I will admit that I was low-key on his side. But I also saw Odysseus' point of view, because it's just like, you know what, if we can try to get the people that we have back from Circe, let's try. Let's not give up. No man left behind. Clearly, because Odysseus has been no man left behind since the fucking Cyclops saga. Now here's where we go to Eurylochus being a hypocrite. So after the Underworld saga is the Thunder saga. And during the Thunder saga, after Suffering and different beasts, we enter Scylla. Now, during Scylla, Eurylochus confesses to something. Eurylochus confesses to Odysseus that while Odysseus was sleeping, he opened the wind bag. After hearing that, ironically, Odysseus is like, Eurylochus, light up 6 torches. Eurylochus lights up those 6 torches and gives one to every single crew member. Well, gives one to 6, and gives each one to 6 crew members. I don't know how to say that. Someone would know how to say that, but I don't know how to say it. Gives one to each crew member. And that is when Scylla appears. Now, Scylla doesn't just attack everybody. She attacks the people with the 6 torches. Now, in some animatics, Eurylochus is depicted to have had a torch. But when he notices what happens, he passes off the torch to another crew member who's like not paying attention to the pattern that's going on, so Eurylochus takes his chance. But just to sum it up, Scylla goes after everyone with those 6 torches, and 6 people die. This is what leads to mutiny. Now, if you don't know what a mutiny is basically when a crew or like a group of people who are lower than the leader go against said leader. They all team up and go against said leader. During mutiny, Eurylochus asks Odysseus, did he know that Scylla would go after those who had the torches? Odysseus doesn't answer at first. Eurylochus pushes him to answer. Then that's when Odysseus silently admits that yes, he did know. And Odysseus doesn't flat out say, yes, I didn't know that would happen, but his silence speaks louder than words. Like, that moment was a true definition of silence speak louder than words. So basically, because of this and because the whole crew can hear what's going on, they all turn against Odysseus. One even stabs him. And this is what makes Eurylochus a hypocrite, because in the Circe saga, he was so down to leave those men pigs and take whoever was left and dip. Even in the sagas before, he was willing to stab and kill and do whatever to get home. And he kept trying to convince Odysseus to do what he says. And now that Odysseus actually does what you have been suggesting all this time, you're upset. And not only that, you're upset about him taking your early advice. You also don't listen when he says not to kill the secret cattle. See, I'm getting too hyped. But yeah, that pretty much sums up why I don't like Eurylochus. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I've been recording for an hour and a half. I'm not sure. Besides my long-term beef with Eurylochus, until you guys change my mind, besides that, Epic the Musical has been a journey. I loved it. It was a nice fun ride waiting for more sagas to come out. I mean, it was like waiting for the next season of a TV show to come on. It had its ups and downs. Yes, there's always going to be drama behind it, but it is what it is. For what it was presented, Epic the Musical was amazing, in my opinion. I loved it. Well, everyone, with that being said, this diary is closed, and that will be the end of this video. Remember, opinions are just opinions. We can agree or disagree, and if you're going to disagree respectfully. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.